modern day warrior, mean stride. Bom, 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 bom. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride. Fly by night away from here, and you still have made a choice because we're here. Roll the bones. Hey, this is Avish Parashar, and my favorite band of all time is the iconic Canadian prog rock trio called Rush. And today, what I'm going to share with you is a profound quote said by one of the members that changed my approach to my life and my business, and I think might help you as well. Hey everyone, my name is Avish Parashar, and I'm a huge Rush fan. And if you have ever struggled with the question, what am I passionate about? Or what's my genius? Or where should I be putting my energy? What should I be focusing on? I'm going to share with you a profound quote from the band today that may help you answer that very question. Music is all about wanting to be better at it. So as I said, when I read this quote, it kind of seemed like a nice quote, and it stuck out at me, and I shared it on my social media and thought it was pretty cool. But the more I thought about it, the more it really started impacting me. Now, here's the interesting thing about me, if I could share a little bit about my personal journey and experience. I have been performing, studying, and teaching improv comedy for 28 years. I started doing it freshman year in college, loved it so much that I kept doing it after college. I started my own group, and about 17 years ago, I started my own business where I use improv as a tool to teach businesses how to think quickly, how to be more creative and innovative, how to respond to change. So it seems like a no-brainer that my passion is improv comedy. But as I built my business over 17 years, what I realized not that long ago is that I was spending about 95% of my time doing stuff I didn't really enjoy. I loved speaking on stage, and that was only about 5% of my time is the time I'm actually in front of the audience. Maybe even less if you really calculated it out. 95% or more of my time was spent doing things that at best I found okay, and at worst I didn't enjoy at all. Like the marketing, the business, the following up, the administration. And so I spent a lot of time thinking, all right, I love my business, I love speaking, but how can I do more of what I love? Well, that led me to the question that I've posed here. What is your passion? Right? And I started immersing myself and reading and researching and thinking. And so many of the definitions I came across made me feel like maybe improv wasn't quite it. Because to me, everything I was reading about a passion is, what's a thing you would do if no one paid you? And honestly, I don't know that I'd keep performing improv comedy if I wasn't getting paid for it, or if there wasn't some long-term goal. For me, I love improv, but a lot of it was about the rewards, right? Being up there, making an audience laugh, the joy of performing. Would I love doing improv for improv's sake? I honestly couldn't answer yes. And this put me in a bit of a spiral. Not sure, maybe I had followed the wrong career path. Not sure what that thing could be or should be. Was I being overly privileged even asking this question? So I really struggled with this for a while. And I came up with a lot of different ideas, and none of them resonated. And then, this is August 2020 when I'm recording this. We hit this global pandemic, and it threw my business completely out of whack, and I had to shift everything to virtual. But that gave me some time to step back and breathe and think. And I thought more about this passion idea. And then I realized that, there's a certain thing about improv I like. I do like thinking about it, and maybe I need to lean more back into that. And then I came across this quote because I was listening to a lot of Rush, and then the drummer from the band died earlier this year. That was real sad. So that re-immersed me in this band that I love so much, not just in the songs, but in reading and watching interviews and watching the documentary again and things like that. And then I came across this quote from Geddy Lee, which said, "Music is all about wanting to be better at it." Now, if you're unfamiliar with the band, go listen to them. But what's interesting is that they are virtuosos, right? They're considered amongst the best in the world at their respective instruments. Geddy Lee, the bass player and lead singer, certainly. The drummer, certainly. And the guitarist, a little bit underrated, I think. Not generally counted amongst like the top 10, but usually amongst the top 20 or 30 in the world at what he does. So they're virtuosos. And here is Geddy Lee, one of the best bass players in the world, saying, music is all about wanting to be better at it. Not saying, I love playing the bass. It takes me away. It's about wanting to be better at it. And the more I thought about that, I'm like, what would, if you take the word music out, what would you fill in the blank for me? Blank is all about wanting to be better at it. And then I realized it is improv comedy. Because back when I was running my improv group, I spent so much time in between rehearsals, in between shows, thinking about improv, reading books, coming up with new formats, trying to think of how can I make this performance better? What's this new skill I could develop? I really wanted to make myself and my group better, and I thought about it all the time. When I shifted into speaking, some of that got lost because I focused so much on how can I get sales? How can I build my business? How can I become a better speaker? And speaking was about being better at it, but never just for the sake of being better. I always wanted to be a better speaker for the sake of making more sales, getting more referrals, word of mouth. And as I thought about that, I refocused and said, you know what? I would still fill in that blank with improv comedy. Improv comedy is all about wanting to be better at it. And that changed everything. I then jumped back into my solo prov virtual thing with more gusto on how can I modify this format? How can I do this new game? How can I take this thing, which is impossible to do virtually, and figure out how to do virtually? How can I take this game, which is so hard to do without other partners, and make it work here? And I'll tell you, this opened my eyes. The passion wasn't about what do I love doing? What would I love doing if no one paid me? The passion came from the sense of what is all about wanting to get better at it. It's the first time I felt even remotely confident in my answer to the question, what is your passion? What is your genius? What are you passionate about? And it has changed everything. And I'll tell you, not only did it answer the question, but now it's interesting with the global pandemic. I'm speaking less, right? The whole industry shifted. I've done no in-person things in 5 months. I've done some virtual stuff, but that's still kind of re-ramping up. But I have found myself more engaged and more motivated on a day-to-day basis because I'm focusing on the thing that I want to get better at. And I'm working on getting better at and then putting it out to the world. So how about you? Now it's your turn. Take that quote, music is all about wanting to be better at it. Take out the word music, and what would you fill in there? If you have struggled with the idea of what's my passion, what should I be doing, where am I going, the answer to this question may very well help you, especially if all the other ways of figuring out failed you. You know, like what would you do if no one paid you? If you won the lottery tomorrow, what would you do? Those questions all failed me. If they failed you, ask yourself, what is all about wanting to be better at it for me? Even if you don't quit your job and start a business or completely change the direction of your life, just knowing the answer to this question can be amazing, because even just weaving that into your free time, your hobbies, wanting to be better at, knowing that is and working on it can make you feel more engaged and more motivated. And if you are a leader in any way, manager, executive, you own a business, or just in your family, your community, your friends, if you've got people who are unmotivated, disengaged, in this time of global pandemic, everyone is stressed out. If you can help them answer this question and focus on that, you can help them get more engaged and more motivated as well. It is wonderful and powerful. So hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, go ahead and give this a like and maybe drop in a comment would be wonderful as well. And a reminder, hit that subscribe button and that bell so you can be notified of new videos that I put out about this kind of content, motivational content, as well as stuff around improv comedy and how to apply improv ideas off stage. So 2 quick action items for you. Number 1, fill in that blank. What is all about wanting to be better at it for you? And number 2, go listen to some Rush because they are awesome.